went through not knowing. Okay, I just got a notification, sorry about that. Went through not knowing when they can ever return to campus. All these experiences that I've personally felt led me to believe that back to basic policies, such as building a stronger supporting foundation and strengthening the fundamentals of UMSU International, would be the best strategies to battle hardships as we all transition towards a post-pandemic period. As international students gradually return to study on campus, assisting them on issues regarding new post-COVID rules and regulations set by the government and the university would be absolutely crucial. Therefore, advocating swifter resolutions on spontaneous issues that would impact international students would be one of my key back to basics policies. As information has always been communicated online throughout the pandemic, us moving back offline and show more of our presence on campus, such as having weekly gatherings and booths set up in front of Union House to show our support and service to the international students community that we are always there for them. While growing up in a multicultural and multiracial country led me to understand the importance of inclusivity, I also think one of the biggest personal gains I got out of that is being able to speak 4 languages fluently and making friends from so many different cultures. I think that was a good starting point for me to have the open-mindedness and confidence to join the French club and learn my 5th language. Pandemic honestly have taken away so much opportunities for us to connect with each other. Does not matter if we are international or local students. And I intend to use the UMSU International platform to strengthen the bridge between clubs of different cultural representation so that we all get a chance to connect as a group of a community once again, which links closely back to my back to basic policies, such as organizing events with, like, let's say, French club and the Malaysian club for cultural exchange that would encourage individuals to be more engaged to other cultures. I think my role as a president is more of a supporting role to all my committees and members rather than being the spotlight. My policies or strategies might not be idealistic or seeking radical changes, but rather to build upon a foundation that previous committees and members have worked so hard to preserve. As I see this year to be a transitional phase for us to rebuild and heal from the pandemic, ultimately, my end goal is simply to continue what previous committees have already done a great job with, further strengthening it.
I need you to wrap up now, please.
Okay, so finally, I wish all my peers welcome to Melbourne, I guess. So I think, yeah, thank you, that's it basically. So yeah, let's think us back to normal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. If there isn't one time where you always leave yourself muted and talk. Now, as you guys go through, we're just adding people to the meeting now. Second, what we'll do is we have questions at the end. So in terms of your speech, we'll go through and we'll have those questions. So people keep your questions and then we will go through them at the end of the Q&A session. So now we have on our list, we have Sanskar, if you are there.
Yep.
I think you're out there, Sanskar. So you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sanskar Agarwal, a science student majoring in computer science and software systems. My involvement with UMSU International began in 2021 when I was selected as an international student ambassador. As an ISA, I have volunteered with various departments in UMSU International and have an understanding of their working. It is an honor to put my name forward as a candidate for president. I'm running for president as I have ideas I would like to implement across all departments, along with carrying forward the progress made by the current committee. I would like to expand the ISA program to show greater inclusivity towards underrepresented groups by promoting the program with clubs and societies from backgrounds that are typically underrepresented in UMSU International. For education and welfare, I would like to increase the involvement with the university CAP services and host events to reduce the stigma international students often associate with mental health issues. In culture and social, I want to introduce events that increase direct engagement of international students with domestic students to help bridge the cultural gap that prevents many international students from making domestic friends. In media and marketing, I want to use it not just to promote events, but also the medium for international students to understand the facilities and support available to them through engaging means such as Instagram Reels and YouTube videos. As UMSU International will be shifting to the new student precinct in the upcoming months, I will ensure that the transition is smooth and that UMSU International has full control over its offices. In a year of transition, I wish to support all departments in their work to tackle these issues. I would also like to bring the university's focus on the International Student Emergency Support Fund for COVID-19, which was released at the beginning of the pandemic and really helped many international students, but has since taken the sidelines, even though many students remain stuck overseas and many classes are still being delivered online. If elected, I would also become a stakeholder in university affairs. I plan on understanding the fee structure for domestic and international students, as we currently pay about 4 times the fee for the same lectures and tutorials with minimal additional support, which is often unavailed by a majority of students. I would thus look to see if anything could be done to reduce international student fee. I intend to create an environment where we can all come together as a family and support each other, even during extremely hard times like this. I would like to conclude by thanking the current committee and ISAs for a wonderful job we have all collectively done in starting a successful transition back to campus this semester. And if elected, I hope to draw upon all my experience and do my best in this role. I will work not only to improve UMSO International from within, but also look for external collaborators and feedback. All in all, I will work with a clear aim of improving the international student experience at the University of Melbourne. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Sanskar. Those now Val Mariano. Are you out there, Val?
Yeah.
Excellent. Whoa, sorry, my cricket scared the hell out of me there. How dare they? Excellent, my timer. So if you want to go, Val, you again have 3 minutes. So go for it now.
Have you ever felt that you're stuck in the same routine every year? You repeat a monotonous school day just to complete your degree. Have you ever had a complaint about the university, but your voice is only heard by the friends of your group and never reaches the school? Do you think that the student union is not necessary, that everything is very good the way it is? If you answer yes to any of the questions, this is about time that all of you need a good leader to deliver your aspirations and visions of an international student to the university. My name is Val Mariono from the Bachelor of Science majoring in Civil Systems, and I'm running for UMSO International President. You might be asking yourself, should Val really be the next UMSO International President? After all, she has only been in UniMelb for less than a year. Although it is true that I've only been in UniMelb for under a year, but my vision is changed for the betterment of international students in the institution. From the first moment I attended UniMelb, I noticed that UMSO International lacks exposure. Upon talking with my Indonesian friends, they're not aware of UMSO International events, but even worse, the organization itself. This is not just problematic for event attendance reasons, but this would also mean that international students may not be aware of the services and support they can access from us. As your president, I would like to further market the organization and make UMSO International more widely known. Secondly, the cultural festivals of UMSO International can be improved. Similar to Night Market, cultural festivals like by the MSA, Monash Student Associations, and PPIA Victoria is an event that seeks to promote different cultures from around the globe. Whilst there are similar things like traditional foods and live performances, cultural festivals will have interactive and engaging workshops whereby attendees can participate to make unique items such as batik making, cooking dumplings, and play a variety of traditional games. The previously held night market was great, but it can be even better. It seems to me that there were only few cultural clubs that participated in the night market event. Perhaps we can provide incentives through cultural clubs. This can be in form of a more accessible grants program by UMSU for the said club's fundings. By providing incentives and thereby increasing the number of participating clubs, this can certainly reduce the long queues. Also, since people are inevitably going to queue for food, perhaps there can be performances that are not only in the main stage. Not to forget about the international students who are stuck overseas. The solution is that you can hold more online events to support them. I believe that voices matter, and to ensure that international students have a voice that is heard, it is crucial that for UMSO International to remain independent by maintaining the status of semi-autonomy pursuant to the Section 3 of UMSO International regulations. Lastly, who here doesn't love alcohol? I'd like to make the night market of...
I'm going to need you to wrap up in about now. Sorry, about 10 seconds.
All right. I challenge you to step out of your comfort zone because one small step can make a big difference. Our future depends on our ability to work together. My name is Val Mariono, and I humbly ask your vote for this election. Let's take actions before it's too late, before things go wrong. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Now we're moving on from president. So thank you all presidential candidates on to the Vice President, Media and Marketing. So I have Christopher first. So Christopher, if you're there, you will have 3 minutes to go through, and we will give you a little warning at the end, just so you can wrap up.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Pereira, and I'm a second-year graphic design student from Indonesia. First and foremost, thank you all for making the time and giving me the opportunity to explain why I have nominated myself for the position of Vice President at the UMSO International Media and Marketing Department. Through this speech, I will explain to you why I want and deserve this position and what I aim to do for the future of UMSO International if elected. I graduated from my high school back in 2020 and just recently arrived in Melbourne roughly 4 months ago. Half of my degree was completed online, and during that time, I felt extremely disconnected from the university. There were so many times where I felt neglected as an international student, paying full fees in return for a total lack of the university experience. However, joining UMSO International as a media and marketing officer for almost a year now has allowed me to reconnect with the university in a personal and professional capacity. Being a part of the committee has reinstated my hope in the university as an international student, which is why I really want this position so that I can further contribute to the organization. For that reason, my mission is to make all international students feel recognized through UMSO International, which I think is really important as we transition into a post-pandemic period. This mission is fueled by both my personal values and education, which is why I know that I will stay motivated throughout my term. And I'm confident that I have the ability to maximize the reach of UMSO International through media and marketing. For the reasons previously outlined, I strongly believe that I deserve the position of Vice President. If elected, I have set 5 clear goals that I will aim to achieve within my term. First, I want to ensure that the very new position of Media and Marketing Vice President is consolidated, as there is no clear delineation between the roles of Vice President and Director, with many overlapping responsibilities in each position. Second, I want to refine UMSO International's brand image to become more friendly and welcoming as an organization, something I feel that we can improve upon. Next, I want to make use of our online platforms, especially the website, to address concerns such as the lack of diversity and issues regarding elections that have been previously expressed by external parties, yet have largely been ignored. Fourth, I want to make sure that all departments in UMSO International know how to make full use of the media and marketing department to alleviate some of the pressures of planning events. Lastly, I want to clearly define roles within the media and marketing team so that the workload is more balanced and specialized, producing optimal quality from each team member. Note that I have only pointed out existing issues that I observed within the media and marketing department, and I have not offered any solutions. As a design student, I have many ideas running through my head at any given moment, so I definitely have the solutions in mind which can be implemented if I were to be elected. I genuinely want the best for UMSO International, and I know that the media and marketing department plays a crucial role in promoting and advertising all the events that we plan. I can say with utmost confidence that I will be a very capable and competent vice president, and that I am the best fit for the position, which is why I hope you vote for me. Once again, thank you for your time.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christopher. Those now we will have Lan Fong. So Haley, if you're there.
Hey, I'm
Thanks,
Haley.
Haley. So again, we've got 3 minutes, so we'll give you a little reminder.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Haley Nguyen, and I'm a Vietnamese student. And I'm here running for the position of Vice President of Media and Marketing. I believe I'm qualified for the role because first, I have necessary marketing skills to be able to assist the team when it comes to the marketing work on social media. And second, I have experience in leading marketing team during my part-time jobs, as well as being marketing director in TEDx Unimail. Importantly, I also have built a strong time management skill as I have been working under pressure of multiple projects at the time. And it is necessary I'm willing to underload next semester to make sure all my duties is delivered at best. And if I was elected, I will work with all department teams to collaborate with more cultural clubs to create more social media content that are not only attractive, but informative and valuable for international students. I will utilize the use of videos on platforms like YouTube and Instagram Reels to increase the reach of UMSO International to small students. And especially, I will make sure to provide a productive but still flexible, close and supportive atmosphere for committee's members to not only gain more experience, but more importantly, to have fun under media and marketing departments. And that's it for me. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Now just to remind people, we have had people coming in after we've started the chat. So it's just to say that we do have basically we've set down, we had introductions from the elected candidates, and now we've gone on to the candidates who are running in the election, so that are in contested positions. We're going through the executive positions first, and then going to the director positions. So it is 3 minutes for each candidate to speak in the executive positions, and it's 2 minutes in the director positions, and then we have a Q&A at the end. But the Q&A doesn't just have to cover the executive and director candidates. It can cover all the candidates that are up for election. So it's a fairly broad ranging. If you cannot be here at the end, because it can take a little time, you're welcome to send your question to me, and I will make sure that it gets asked in the Q&A session. Now, we are recording this so that other students can access it at times, because this is obviously we have students who cannot make the session. So if you have a problem with being recorded, please let me know, because we just make an access point to this through the election page, and then we delete it immediately after the election. So this is kept for no other purpose but what it is recorded for. So we now move on. We've gone through, so thank you for that, Hayley. Now we're going to move to Kavi, if Kavi is out there. I think you are, Kavi. So if you are out there.
Hi, Gavin.
Excellent. You have 3 minutes.
Yep, thank you. Good afternoon, all. My name is Kavi Ramdas, and I'm in my penultimate year majoring in accounting and finance. Before we begin, I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to everyone here who has taken the time out of your day to attend this year's candidacy. I might hail from a small island called Mauritius, but I have always had the biggest aspiration to deliver impact and change to the community. As a fellow international student myself, I empathize with our international student cohort for the hardships we have faced for the past 2 years. Hence, I want to celebrate our uniqueness and differences, our ethnicities and cultures, our languages and folklores, by supporting UMSU International in bringing international students together. I believe I possess the right skills to fit in the role of a treasurer, where I would be able to extend my leadership experience and accounting know-how from my internships. Noting that cash is the lifeblood of any organization, I, if elected treasurer, will be responsible, reliable, and detail-oriented in managing the cash flow of UMSU International, while diligently preparing for the financial statements and budgets. And there are 3 overarching goals that I plan to implement if I were to be elected. First, at the personal level, there are 3 core values I would like to exhibit as a treasurer: transparency, integrity, and accountability. Transparency, where I would be honest and openly communicate the financial matters to the body. Integrity, where I would keep my word and fully fulfill my commitments. And accountability, where I will take full responsibility for my role. Second, at the organizational level, I would be open-minded and flexible in allocating the budget to the different teams while prioritizing the needs of international students to maximize your welfare. Third, outside of my role, I would like to plan and budget for innovative as well as existing events to enhance the overall international student experience. And such events could be collaboration with the cultural clubs at UniMelb, such as the Indonesian, Malaysian, Singaporean, Indian, and plethora of other student societies to promote the beauty and diversity of each culture, since UniMelb is truly a melting pot of cultures. So I'm fully aware that the role of a treasurer demands a lot of hard work and commitment. However, I also know that I am a highly committed individual who will give his 110% to the role. I look forward to working with, learning from, and growing together with everyone. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer them afterwards. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Excellent, thank you for that. We move on from Kavi now over to Jacqueline, if you are there. Jacqueline, are you out there?
Yep, I'm here.
Excellent. So we'll give you a little bit of around 3 minutes. We'll just give you an indication to wind up. So go for it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacqueline and I'm from Indonesia. I'm running for treasurer. I'm a second-year accounting and finance student. To begin, I believe a treasurer holds a lot of responsibility in his or her shoulders, and I would like to say that I'm well suited for the position. The former treasurer has done wonders in his job, and I am ready to carry on his legacy. Not only am I familiar with the duties of a treasurer, my experience running an online business has prepared me for bookkeeping and budgeting. In addition, my previous position as a fundraiser in the Indonesian Film Festival developed my ability to collaborate directly with the partnership and sponsorship division. These important experiences serve as a background knowledge that I can apply as a treasurer. Furthermore, for the past few months, I have been a part of the ISA, where I have had the opportunity to volunteer and also contribute to the night market success. Through ISA, I got the chance to be a part of a close-knit community, experience working hand in hand together with teams, and see what may be improved in the long run. Moreover, my experiences taught me how to negotiate and solve problems, both of which I believe are essential abilities for a treasurer. If I were the treasurer, there would be no reason for me to not do everything in my power to make a proposal possible, since I believe there's always an alternative solution within the budget. Working closely with every department to be able to make the best decision for each and every international student is what I can see myself doing. I, as treasurer, will make sure that we utilize funds effectively, not merely increasing each department's funds without any clear justification and without clear purpose. I believe us working as a team will bring UMSU higher than it was ever before. Lastly, I want to put attention on international students that are still offshore. Despite being delighted to see more on-campus events going on, I, as treasurer, would suggest to keep on doing the existing online events to keep the inclusivity of the international students community. And because of that, I would give full financial support according to their needs. I've come to represent all international students' voices through my work, and I would like to thank everyone for attending this session today in the busy times and hear to what I have to say. I hope to be able to work with you, and I wish my fellow candidates good luck. You can count on someone who can count. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. That's excellent. So now that concludes all of our executive position candidates. We now move on to our director position candidates. So we will have, I think the first one up, we have Ohas. Now, Ohas, again, I've put a pronunciation of a J as a H there, but if you're out there, feel free to jump in right now.
Yep, sure.
I should mention that you are running for welfare director.
All right.
Now you have 2 minutes, and we will just give you a little slight warning at the end.
Mm-hmm. So before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Aboriginal people who are the rightful owners and custodians of the lands that we work upon, and I pay my respects to the elders past and present. My name is Ojas Chopra, and I'm a student pursuing Bachelor's of Arts, and in my first year, I'm running for the position for the welfare director. I was introduced to UMSU International through the International Student Ambassador Program at the very start of my course. So when I say that this community has been working hard to build an inclusive environment for all, and the teeny-weeny bits that lacks, I say it from experience. International students come this far out of their comfort zone to pursue their dreams. And what I have learned from my experience at the University of Melbourne is that the biggest challenge to mental health is to find a safe and comfortable space to learn about the unsaid social norms that prevail in and around Melbourne. I believe that communication is the key. And since English is not the first language for much of the international students, I believe that this can be achieved by providing workshops for students where they can interact with each other with similar cultural and lingual backgrounds. These workshops could be used as a medium to introduce them to the services available on campus, closely oriented with mental and sexual well-being, and also with the cultural shocks that people from similar backgrounds tend to face in a foreign country. Following this, we are fortunate enough to be on campus for this and the coming semester and being able to attend all in-person events. But as a person in charge, I would surely not forget about the students who are still stuck overseas. I would like to build more online events and much relaxing and fun-oriented meetings, such that the ones in other countries can have a better sense of engagement in the university life. Because it must be far more stressful and difficult for them to keep studies, being in variable time zones. As the welfare director, I would also work to improve the counseling and psychological services at the university. As an international student, I have seen the difficulties students face when moving to a new country, and I would like to work to improve these trained resources and make them more accessible to the international students. Along with this, I would also organize
please, mate. That's 2 minutes. Thank you.
Free food giveaways, which would be helpful for financially struggling students. To sum up, I'm confident to step into the UMSU International as a welfare director, and have faith that I'll put in all my efforts to delivering international students a great and memorable journey at the University of Melbourne. Thank you for your time.
Excellent, Ojas. Now, I think we've got Elsa out there. Elsa, you are also running for welfare director. Lovely to see you. And go, you have 2 minutes. You are on mute there, Elsa. You're doing my favorite. No, that's my trick in meetings.
Sorry. Okay, I'll continue to read.
Once every day.
Okay. Am I good to go again?
Yes, you are. Let's
Okay.
go for it.
Thank you. So hi everyone, my name is Elsa and I'm a second year science student from New Zealand. It's so nice to meet you all here today, and most of you probably know me as the CNS co-opted officer as part of the current committee, or otherwise the blue hair K-pop girl from Night Market. And I am running for this position due to my frustration at how so many international students' health and well-being are neglected. And more importantly, I just enjoy helping people and bringing a smile to their faces, which is why I joined UMSU International in the first place. Please note some aspects of my speech may be triggering, so feel free to step out at any time or let me know. Firstly, as we all know, international students may be one of the, if not most vulnerable demographic group to depleting mental health. And this is evident from the statistics of students who unfortunately commit suicide, with majority being international students. These students are so susceptible to depleting mental health because they do not have the same support network they have here as they do at home, with family and parents being overseas. And I would like to find ways to provide better, affordable, and more accessible professional support services, as admittedly there's been some feedback on UniMelv support services being limited in space, unresponsive, and expensive. I believe as UMSU International Welfare, we must be able to provide immediate and useful support separate from the existing university support services. Another way to deal with this would be to provide mental health training to the welfare team and anyone else who are willing to take this on, so that we can be a point of contact and support for anyone in need. I would also like to bring events on smaller scales so that students can have the opportunity to connect and build friendships. As you all know, one of the main concerns for international student mental health and welfare is their inability to adjust to a new environment, especially one where many students already have pre-established friend groups. And I would like to make their transition into Melbourne as seamless as possible. And as part of these small events, I would like to bring in guest speakers to discuss topics that may be considered taboo in a normal conservative international household. For example, topics such as sexual health and workshops on how to manage expectations. Yeah. Also provide a safe space for women and queer identified international students. And these are just some of the initiatives I would love to bring to the welfare department, as well as continue the already well-established events, as I truly emphasize and understand the struggle of international students, and I hope to become a voice for all. And I wish you all best of luck with your campaign and future positions. Thank you.
Thanks, Elsa. Now we move on to the Partnership and Sponsorship Director position. Now, Richard, I think you will be out there. I saw you.
Yep, I'm here.
With those, now, again, you have 2 minutes. As you're here, you'll see Jared will be here. Jared and I come in just at the end of 2 minutes to give you a warning. So go for it.
Yep. Hi, I'm Richard. I'm a Bachelor of Science student majoring in Mechatronic Systems. I'm nominating myself for the position of PNS Director. I guess to start off, I'll break down what I believe are the suitable skill sets one needs to excel at the position as PNS Director. I think a person needs to be able to liaise and communicate well with external parties like clubs and businesses. I think that's just a given. In addition to that, from what I noticed from just in general student representative organizations, is a common critique of them is that the things that we do as UMSU International or any other organizations don't always align with the interests of the people that we cater to. And so having a keen eye and social empathy and understanding of multiple social and cultural contexts, I feel like I have the skill sets to be able to distinguish what is a suitable and worthwhile partnership and to pursue, and also maintaining relationships with our most important partners when we do events such as the Night Market. I think as PNS Director, it's also important not only work as a team, but also work as an efficient team. I believe the best way to go about it is not through assigned responsibilities, but rather leveraging everyone's skill set in the most efficient manner possible. This way we have efficient allocation of tasks where everyone focuses on their strengths the most. And this can be particularly important in the PNS department, where you have to leverage your social skills and also your negotiation skills when talking with external and internal parties for that matter. So why should you support me? Because that's what we're all here for. There's almost no reason for you to believe what I've said so far, but I will list some. Sorry?
10 seconds, mate. 10 seconds. Wrap up, please.
There's almost no reason for you to believe me. However, I've had extensive an extensive track record in leadership positions such as student council president, school captain, and also team leader of multiple competitions and organizations in the past. So therefore, I believe I am a suitable candidate for the position of PNS director. Thank you so much for giving your time, and good luck to all the other candidates.
Excellent. Thanks, Richard. Those now we move on to Anne, if you're out there. Anne?
Yep. Hi, everyone. I am really grateful for this opportunity to introduce myself and deliver my speech. My name is An, and I'm running for the Partnership and Sponsorship Director position. I've been involved with UMSU International since March of 2020, starting off as an ISA and currently as a co-opted PNS officer. So I would say I'm pretty passionate about contributing to the international student community and have a fair share of knowledge about the different activities that would deliver in general, as well as the responsibilities of the PNS department in particular. Moreover, I also believe that my communication and organizing skills make me a suitable candidate for this position, which requires a lot of liaison with different stakeholders in a professional manner and a high level of organization in our events, such as heads of clubs and meet and greet. Stepping up as a director, I would continue to foster a collaborative and supportive team culture for my officers, which always values ideas and suggestions despite the hierarchy. Moving forward, I plan to cultivate a stronger relationship with clubs by physically introducing UMSU International and the PNS department to them as soon as our term starts and during the club expo, which I think will help them feel less hesitant to reach out to us for support or collaboration. In addition, I also plan to nurture the relationship with existing sponsors by sending them emails reviewing the success of the events from this year and giving them an idea of how much of an impact their sponsorships have made to the international student community. By doing this, I believe it creates more incentive for them to build a long-term relationship with us and continue to support UMSU International. And that is the end of my speech. Thank you for listening.
Excellent, everyone. Well, that just to let you know, so we've gone through introductions for the elected candidates, and then we've gone through giving 3 minutes to our executive position candidates, and then we've given 2 minutes to our director position candidates. And now we move on to a Q&A session for everyone, being everyone, the candidates that are running in this election. So that also covers not only just the executive and director positions, it covers all the officer positions for which there are quite a few candidates. So I do have some questions that I've received on the chat that have come from people who have had to then leave. So I'll start with the question for all the presidential candidates from, so this is to all presidential candidates. So you can just take this in turn in the same order that we just went through previously. So Sekong, I'll direct this at you first, which is, have you ever worked with UMSU International before? And if not, how can you expect the committee to be led by someone with limited experience in UMSU and stakeholders?
Well, first off, to answer that question, I don't think I've ever worked with UMSU International before. I think since I transferred from Monash, I was stuck in Malaysia. And I've always wanted to be more involved when I first got here, I think about 2 months ago. So, well, obviously, I think experience speaks a lot in terms of how you can actually govern the committee and actually bring the organization forward and strive better. But I think it's also about past experience and from the other clubs and the other so-called experience I've had from the past that I have strived and also become board of directors in. I think the other presidential candidates like Sanskar, I think he made a really good point of what he knows. I think he's been here, which I think it's a very interesting point as well of what he thinks about emergency funds and the planning that he wants to do. So I think when I was talking, and sorry again to everyone else, I was, so in the middle, there's a recording notification, I got cut off a bit and I was panicking a bit as well. But I think for me, my policy is still like just getting back to basic. And I think I can work through the intrinsic things of what the organization UMSU International is all about. Obviously, is to actually, of course, facilitate a better bridge between the university with international students. And I think that is what is most important to me, to actually just build upon the foundations and the fundamentals, and rather than doing anything that is radical. So yeah, again, to simplify the question, to simplify the answer, yes, I've never worked with UMSU International before, but I think my past experience can definitely bring something more strong in terms of foundation to the table, rather than something that is, I think, radical changes or just that. So, yeah.
Now, I should have mentioned the candidates will get 90 seconds to respond. We're just
sorry for that.
No, that's all right. That was about 90 seconds. Then we have, we will limit this. We're looking to wrap up by 5 o'clock. So we will go through, just so there's an end point to the questions. You're welcome also to contact candidates after this. So I'll move on now with the same question. Now, if you need me to ask the question again, Sanskar, you're most welcome to, because I've got it written down here. So
I think I heard the question,
right.
So it's all good. I can answer.
Beautiful. Well, you go for it. You got 90 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. So as stated earlier, I've been involved with UMSU International since 2021. I have worked with most of the executive members who have been elected unopposed, as I believe a majority of them were ISAs. I am also aware of the internal and external stakeholders, such as the University Chancellery, Wakewise, GSA, and Study Melbourne. And I've also actually worked with a few of them as an ISA. I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And now we have Val, if you are there. You've got 90 seconds to respond. Now, if you need me to go through that question again, please let me know.
I've actually not been working in UMSU International before, but I feel like my past experience can speak for itself. I was elected student council president back in high school, and I know how this thing would work. And bringing change to UMSU International is not just a matter of carrying weapons of mass destruction on our shoulder. It is not just an issue of holding terrorizing demonstration in our street, but it is about coming up with like good initiative and constructive actions, which I believe that UMSU International needs.
Beautiful. Now we have, thank you for that, Val. Now we've got the next question that I have, and if you do have a question, you're welcome to either put up your hand or come to me. Now, sorry.
Then I also have a question.
Excellent. That's mine. Hey, I was about to read out your question, so you're here, so that's perfect.
Yes. So my question is to all presidential candidates also. So I just want to know, what is the one strength that you all have which will directly complement your role as the president of UMSU International?
And what I'll do, I'll go I'll go to you, Val, first. So we'll go in the reverse order this time. So go for it, Val.
If you ask my friends, the strengths that they would tell you guys is that I have a good leadership skills, and because I grew up in a household where leadership has always been inflicted upon me. And yeah, that's my answer.
Excellent, thank you. Now we'll go to you, Sanskar.
Okay, so I think my greatest asset is time management. And I believe as the UMSU International president, I will have to balance academic expectations, work with UMSU International, and also have to sit on certain boards within the university. And I think as having already balanced being an ISA, having to do my study and doing work as a software developer for a tech firm, I am pretty confident that I will be able to devote a good amount of time to this role. Thank you.
Excellent. Now we've got, so now Sekong, back to you.
Yeah, so I think I'm mostly more of a supporting role, because I think every single one of the committees always have their own thoughts and their own so-called ideas. I think my biggest strength is just to facilitate them and see where I can support them in ways that, of course, to find the best people and to find the best group of mates to do it together so that we can achieve individuals, goals in the committee. I think that's most important. And I think, that's what's most important to me to do it. And of course, being in a multicultural country and having that background, I understand that everyone wants something different, and we have to just understand that instead of just questioning them and support them all the way. So yeah, that's it from me.
Excellent, thank you. Now we move on. So thanks, Mohan. Thanks for picking that up and getting in front of me. Now I've got one from Anthony, and it was just this is a question for now, Val, is your full name Valencia?
Yes. it is.
Excellent. Because I didn't see Valencia on my list. So it's just a quick one for you, Val. It was UMSU International does have large-scale events, another large-scale event called Festival of Nations, which is specifically held to showcase the various cultures in the uni. From what you've raised in your speech, how would you better improve this event to represent different cultural backgrounds better?
Yeah. What I heard is that, and what I've been into is that all the cultural events are less interactive than it should be. I would add like workshops experience, because I've organized this event called Alun Alun in PPI Victoria, and we're teaching the attendants to make klepon, which is a traditional cake by Indonesians, and we also have like coffee makings, and yeah, that's what I wanted to do, like create more workshops, make the festivals more known. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Now, I'm switching between screens because I do have a set of notes now I should actually have a multiple screen set up, but that's just me not being as technically proficient as I could be. So it's just to say that we were going through questions, some for the EXCO, some for directors. So this is one from Hannah to Kavi. So Kavi, who's one of our treasurer candidates. So it was just to say, what are the 3 most important skills that you think you need to juggle the role as treasurer, Kavi?
Thanks for the question, Hannah and Gavin. Well, I feel the 3 most important skills I would need would be leadership, attention to detail, and organizational skills. Leadership, where I would be able to lead the current body as a treasurer and my treasury officers to really help them to do their job and to really instill the values that we need in the Treasury Department. Attention to detail, because I would be essentially working with numbers and budget, and I would use my prior experience at Ernst & Young and Deloitte in the role, and organizational skills to really juggle my curricular and extracurricular activities for the role. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Kavi. Now that I will go back to now I'm just going to have a look if anyone has if you have your hand up and I have not picked you out, just yell out. That's just to say that, now second, you look like you're going to say something. So I'm just going to go through the questions. So Sekong, you had something? No, cool. Sorry.
Jovin, if we have time, can I ask for another one?
You can, Mahan, because I saw that you had told me, you had given me 2 questions. So
yeah.
Yes, go for it.
So there'll be many hard decisions that you'll have to make as the president, and not everyone won't have any consensus on the decision that you make. So firstly, how will you deal with that? And the second is, what will inform your decision making?
Excellent. The old double barrel question, which is technically called 2 questions. But now, Sanskar, I'll go with that first. And if you need Mohan to outline that again, let me know. But I'll go to you, Sanskar, first.
Okay, so I think there were 2 aspects to this question. The first was if you cannot build consensus. Well, if you cannot build consensus, then I guess I would consult people external to those voting, such as the previous committee. And I'm also aware that UMSU provides an officer to the executive to see the working. So I would definitely take them into consensus. And the way I would make the decision is to see what is in the best interest of UMSU International and international students. Thank you.
Now, I'll go to you, Sekong.
Well, I think, obviously people don't always go to the general consensus of if we agree upon one thing, but I think it's also just to come across as mediation as a president, of course, being a supporting role, but it's also about how to find a solution for everything for both sides, that they can come to a conclusion that can be worked upon together, whether that is compromises or that's just in a way that both also benefits from it. And I think we all don't get what we want all the time, obviously, but I think my role is just to minimize the conflict, obviously. I think it's a very realistic approach. There will be conflicts, And I think my role is just there to help each other out and to achieve every one of their goals and to bring, of course, as a committee and as a group and as a team, we would want to achieve a general consensus. But when there is a conflict, I think I'm just there to minimize it and hopefully to help each other out to achieve every one of their goals as well that they have in mind. Yeah, so that's it from me.
Great. And now we over to you, Val.
Can Mohan repeat his question?
Yes. Okay. So I asked that as the president, you will be making a lot of hard decisions that won't have everyone's consensus. So how will you deal with that? And what will inform your decision making?
Yeah, so when I was previously elected president in my high school, we make a lot of hard decisions and we create this thing, risk assessment. And usually I divided the conflicts into two, like the pros and cons of each side. And I would ask for opinions from my executive members and decide the best outcome of what it should be and in the best interest of UMSU International. That's fair.
Excellent. Thanks, Val. Now I do see, Anthony, you have your hand up.
Yep. I just want to ask for a question for all the presidential candidate. So as you know, the role of an UMSU national president is really unique. The president doesn't have really a specific department that they are managing. But again, you have these two major jobs, which is one, which Sanskar mentioned, was your relationship with external stakeholders. That includes the chancellery, the academic board, and a lot of the working groups that the uni has. Secondly, you also have your internal matters, how you manage your whole entire organization, all of the 7 departments we have. So I just want to ask from all the presidential candidates, what strategies or what things that you would do to manage this and to make sure that you have a balance between external and internal obligations.
That second, you get that first. We'll go back to the traditional role there. So go for it, Sekon.
Okay, so I'm going to go first.
Yep.
Yeah, so just want to ask for, when you say internal and external kind of issues, are you talking about personal, like so-called studies, or just with external interface with like
just to clarify, what I mean was internal and external obligations. So as president, you have these two major obligations, which is the internally to your organization, to your directors, to your VPs, to your officers, managing and make sure, like you mentioned before, Sekon, about managing conflicts, supporting them, and on the other hand, you have your other external obligation, which is to fight for the wider international student community, making sure you can manage your external stakeholder relationships with the vice chancellor, all the working groups that you have. So how are you going to balance this, and what strategies you can ensure that you can fulfill both obligations?
Well, I think, as president, obviously, I'm the bridge between my organization internally and, of course, with the external parties, with the university and the faculties. But again, I think it comes back to whatever I say as being a supporting role. Every one of the committees have their own, I think, eventually along the way, they will have their own projects, they will have their own ideas, and they wanted to do something that they want, obviously. I think that would would speak louder, or actions would speak louder than what I can say to the external factors, and to make a balance. I think to show a balance to the university and to show the balance to the external organizations or to people from the faculty is to show that as a committee and as a group, that the international student community can do way more than maybe we have done before even. And during pandemic for the 2 years, it was absolutely devastating for all of us, honestly. And we have been able to do just so much less, even though we want to do more from the previous committee, isn't it? So it's just that struggle. And I think the balance that would be struck between the internal and external, it's really upon ourselves as a committee, as a team, as a group. And I'm just there to bring forward that message to the external group of what the internal organization that could have done to reach out to the wider organization and to reach out to the wider international students community and society, as you put it. So I think that's my view on it, a short view on it, I would say.
Yeah, Phil, I've got you next, Phil.
From your question, Anthony, I'm getting that you're asking about how I balance the internal and external part of UMSU International. Is that right?
Yes, what strategies are you going to employ to make sure you can balance this internal and external obligations?
Each committee member is gonna be doing their own part of their organized task, and I feel like each needs to be represented, and we'll conduct meetings to make sure that each part are balanced in a way. Yeah, that's from me. Thank you.
Am I to answer
now?
now?
My turn to talk. Yeah, that's fine, Sanskar. I was just talking while muted, so go for it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anthony, for the question. So for internal stakeholders, I think my strategy would be to establish a relationship of trust amongst all my colleagues. And I would go to regular meetings, and I would also show up at events. I would take direct feedback from ISAs and people attending the events. And I would also maintain a good working relation with my committee. For external stakeholders, ideally, I would like to work together with them, but I do realize that there will often be conflicts. For example, in 2020, UMSU International achieved a seat for the UMSU International president in the education board, I believe. And that was a 2-year fight that the previous president and the president at that time had to put forward. So I am aware that I may sometimes have to externally fight for the right of international students, and I am fully prepared to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I have some questions for our basically I think Christopher and Hayley, so Vice President Media Marketing candidates, which is one of the issues faced in the M&M department. Now I'm just using people's wording here, so you guys will know what I'm talking about. This year is that many don't know the distinction between UMSU, the broader organisation, and UMSU International. So international students may not know where to go when seeking help. What is your plan for the upcoming year to overcome this issue? Now, Christopher, I'll go to you first if you're there.
Yes, hi. As an officer, I do know that this is a really big issue, like distinguishing between UMSU and UMSU International. And I know that one of the main things we tend to avoid in our designs is we don't use the color of Big UMSU, which is purple. And I think that pushing our specific brand techniques, such as Glovey, which is our mascot, or our iconic UMSU International blue color, are really simple ways that we can help to create or distinguish UMSU International from Big UMSU. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we've got Christopher. Hayley, if you're there.
Yeah, I think it is important to represent that we stay focused on the need of UMSU International target audience, which are international students, and the content should be delivered that should be helpful for international students and represent that we embrace the cultural diversity, and to make sure that international students feel included and welcoming with our social media content. And as Chris has said, it's important to reinforce the brand image of UMSU International by always making sure the content follow the brand guideline. But I acknowledge that besides, we should still try to be more flexible to allow creativity in design as well.
Excellent, thank you. Now we've got, I've got a couple of questions for our treasurer candidates.
Hi, Gavin. If you don't mind, can I ask the media and marketing candidates question first?
Oh, you certainly can. Blaine,
Right.
sorry. Yeah, go for it.
Right. If you could change some of the things regarding how media and marketing department operates, what would it be?
And we'll go in reverse order this time. So go for it, Hayley.
Yeah, so I think it's really crucial for M&M department to shape the culture within the committees and the whole club in general, that to make everyone feel proud of UMSU International. Because, for example, if ISA, they all feel like they're proud of being in UMSU International, they will tell their friends positive things about the clubs, and it will create a good circle of word of mouth about the good image of UMSU International. And also, I think it's important to have frequent and consistency contents throughout periodically, or like, for example, like weekly or monthly. So I know everyone may be busy with studying, but it's good to publish frequently and consistently content every week, for example, and more preferably on some day in the week. So by doing that, we can make sure the brand of AMSU International will be on top of student mind, and followers can feel they know when the content will be published, they can expect that. So we can further avoid some contents that are published, but not reach many students.
Yeah,
that's my
thank you. Now go for it, Christopher.
Okay. Sorry. I would begin by changing how the M&M department operates internally, as we have to fix our internal issues before we can actually achieve our best. And currently there is no clear structure in regards to the role of each team member. This means that some team members get more work than others, and there is no way to ensure that each and every team member is up to date with their tasks. And so to change this, I will explicitly define roles such as graphic designer, webmaster, photographer, and videographer in order to delegate tasks appropriately and efficiently. So this relates back to one of my goals that I mentioned in the speech, which is to produce optimal quality from each team member. And I will do this by defining roles and therefore streamlining their work. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Now I have questions. Well, questions from Hans, who's put that in. Now, Hans, if you're out there, you're welcome to ask them yourself. But I think, Hans, you had to leave. So that. Oh,
yep,
hey,
sure.
That
yep.
Ask and you shall appear. So if you're welcome to ask the questions. I think you had a question first for the treasurers. Hans.
Yeah,
sorry,
sure.
treasurers.
So this is for both Jacqueline and Kavi. So the first question is, what are the most important factors when making a budget for AMSU International? That's the first question.
Yep, so then we'll go, Jacqueline, if you can go first, Jacqueline.
Yep, sure. Thank you for the question, Hans. So the most important factors for budgeting, I think the first one will be planning. So I think the planning needs to go well for every event. So consider every tiny little bit of details and every possibilities. So how many people are we attracting and things like that. The second one maybe will be considering all events. So considering every other events that will be executed so that we have a good look on how much we can allocate to each individual events. The next one will be the international students itself, because they are our main audience and their votes are casted for us. So we have to really take care of their needs and give back the best to them. And the last one, maybe the most important, is the resources we have. So the availability of resources itself is crucial, because we need to know how much money we have, how much other resources we have, maybe gifts, maybe giveaways, maybe sponsors that are willing to help in other form of material, so that we know how much we can allocate, because I know that some events may require more budget than the others. Yeah, maybe that's all. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, Kavi, if you're there.
Yep. Thanks for the question. So I believe that, as Jacqueline has said, a budget is essentially a plan. So first of all, we would have to make a plan of the different events that we would need to host for a semester. So that would essentially entail a cost and benefit analysis in terms of the different needs and wants of international students and balance it with our current budget. So we need to measure the needs as well as our current resources to find a common ground to be able to make the budget. And we also have to think both short-term and long-term. So as a budget preparer, I would need to ensure that our current funds are able to meet the short-term costs of our near and current events, as well as to source long-term funding, which could come from a university, external funding from sponsors, partners, alumni, and also we could try to make some events have an entry fee, which could potentially well, we'll have to see how that works, but most of the funding should come from a university or from partners and sponsors itself. So really, it depends on how much funding we have right now, how much cost our current events, short-term events would cost, and how we can source long-term funding so that we can fund our long-term initiatives. Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. And for those who are just coming in here at the end, and there's a few people entering the chat at the end. We're just going through now the Q&A session for candidates. We have said that it's going to wind up about 5, just because so we put a line under it and I don't subject all the candidates to hours of grilling. So that's where we'll be going through for another 10 to 15 minutes with questions. I have a few written questions, and then there are also some people in the meeting who ask questions. So now you had a secondary question, I think, Hans.
Yep. So my second question for both of you guys is, what are your visions for AMSU International and the Partnership and Sponsorship Department?
Oh, sorry, I should actually say that we're going to go back to you, Ravi, to mix it up. So we'll let you go first this time, Ravi.
Thanks, Gavin. So my long-term objective or goal for the partnerships and sponsorships team department would be to keep our existing partners, sponsors, and funding sources, as well as extend those to other sources. It could be alumni, so all boys or girls of University of Melbourne. It could be firms, so firms would be willing to invest in the international student cohort, especially those who have been international students themselves. And I would also like to really facilitate and help all the different kind of initiatives that we have. So we just have a night market, which was a very big and major initiative. So I would love to kind of be the person who kind of makes the right amount of cash flow in the body, so that we can host even more and bigger scale events for the club. So it would really be a balance about maintaining our existing events and partnership and sponsorship base, as well as extending those beyond the university, beyond the ones we currently possess. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Now over to you, Jacqueline.
Yeah. Thanks, Gavin. So my vision for UMSU International and the PNS department would be quite similar to Kavi's, but the first one is to improve initial ideas we already have. So maybe to keep on maintaining the popular initiatives that are already on, and to go beyond the ceiling. So we have to set a new bar to achieve higher than what we have reached before, and to also create an environment where maybe more members can voice out their ideas to make it alive, because especially in this period where we are just coming back to campus. So I am thinking that we would love to hear more ideas, more fresh ones, because we also need to maintain the ones that are going online, because we need to keep the inclusivity of the international student community. And especially for the PNS departments, it is very important to maintain good relationships with initial sponsors and to get a closer look to long-term partnerships. Yeah, maybe that's all from me. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, Hans, if I'm not sure whether you had any more questions. I noticed that you've got your hand up there, Anthony, but you've been a strong contributor so far. So I'll let Hans finish his line of questioning, and then we'll go
thank you, Gavin. So these are like specific questions for each of you. So first, for Jacqueline, my question for you is: you mentioned carrying on the former treasurer's legacy. What do you think is the most important skill to have to be able to do so?
Okay, thank you for the question. There are so many skills that will come to be useful as a treasurer. However, I believe the most important one will be to be a skilled negotiator, so negotiating skills, because as a treasurer, I think he or she is the one who needs to manage all the resources they have, which is, I believe it's limited. We don't have unlimited resources because it's not reasonable. So we need to manage the limited resources to accommodate the wants and needs of all parties, that being the international students, the decision makers, the university itself, and maybe other parties that may be involved. Hence, I believe the most important skill is negotiation skill, which incorporates interpersonal and communication skills as well. So it is required to make events possible and to allow them to happen smoothly. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Now, Hans, I think you had one as well directly for Kavi.
So this is my last question. So my question for you is that, seeing that you have only applied for the treasurer role, what makes you the most qualified for it?
Thanks, Hans, for your question. Well, I personally believe that my passion for accounting and finance has actually driven me to join the BCom. So, and has forced me, or actually kind of given me the initiative to really push myself beyond my capabilities to excel in both my studies and my internships. So I've actually interned at Deloitte and Ernst & Young, and I have worked in their corporate finance and budgetary departments. I've actually prepared budgets. So I know the ins and outs of the numbers and I possess the technical skills of financial statement preparation, budget preparation, allocating our scarce resources to really help the cash flow of a business. So I understand the technicalities of it, but I also possess the interpersonal skills in terms of leadership, as I'm the current marketing director at Chari Teach. So I actually lead a team of 5 people there. So I do possess those interpersonal skills in terms of leadership, communication, stakeholder engagements. I've engaged with clients over consulting projects. So I guess a mix of both the technical and interpersonal skills have actually allowed me to really build up my personality and skills, which I deem fit to be, I guess, good for the role. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Kevin. Now, Anthony, you are back to me with your hand up. So I will just mention that we are looking to finish this up around 5. So depending on how quickly Anthony goes through his questions, we will then look to finish up. So just if you let me finish, Anthony, we'll go through. So Anthony, go for your questions now. Now we are recording this, so we will put this up as soon as we can upon finishing. May not be tonight, but it most likely will be tomorrow. And we just make sure that we've got access to that through the website. So Anthony, go for your question. And if there's anything you need, let me know.
Yep. This will probably be just my last question. So this question goes to all the present candidates. You guys have talked about, what you aspire, what you want to do for the national students, what's your vision, mission. But I just have one simple question for you guys, which is, what is AMSU International to you guys?
Excellent. Now, I think I'm trying to think of which order I've used here previously. So, but Sanskar, I think it's your turn to be first, Sanskar. So you get to be first in this answer. So
okay.
If you missed the question, let us know.
No, I heard the question. Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony, for asking that question. And I guess AMSU International has become a little bit of a home for me. I have volunteered in almost all events this semester, and I have loved working here. I have met amazing people, and if I'm elected, I look forward to meeting many more people and providing support to international students, as has been provided to me from this organization. So again, it's a home away from home. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Now we go to, I think we have, I think Sekhung, you can go next.
Yeah, well, I think for me personally, I just enjoy learning from different cultures and different races, and learning what's so different from us. And honestly, studying in University of Melbourne for 2 years online is just, I tried to reach out to clubs and stuff, but again, I think in my speech I said it's really hard for us to actually communicate and talk naturally when we are just online doing it on Zoom. Even like now, it's kind of weird, honestly. So I think AMSU International, to me, even since I joined, I always thought that it's not just for the international student community. I actually thought it's supposed to be all inclusive, even connecting international students to local students, which I think it's still true. But in a lot of regards, I think it's also lacking in a way that we are not connected with a lot of different so-called clubs of different cultures and different nationalities as well. So I think it took a lot of courage for me to even join the French club. I'm like the only non-Asian there when I was there. It was super awkward. But that was fun for me because, to be honest, I get to experience so much more, and I love doing that. I just love, learning from different things. And I also hope that I can give the same opportunities to every single international students. We might be scared, we might not be that courageous to meet people that are not from our same culture, but doesn't mean we don't want to learn. It's just really hard to reach out. And what I want to do is just to link, groups to groups, like different cultural groups together, so they can have a more comfortable, stage and a more comfortable timing or a more comfortable event for them to connect with each other. So I think AMSU International, that's it for me. That's why I wanted to run for president. And I think I just want to enjoy the ride and enjoy the journey when I get along with all the people and the committees and the members together. Yeah, that's it for me.
Excellent. Thank you, Sekhung. Now we have Val, if you are there, Val.
Hi. Yeah. So UMSU International. As the president, I wouldn't only be representing UMSU International, but I'll also be representing all the international students. And being 5,204 kilometers away from home teaches me that our voices are not heard when we're the minorities here. And I wanted to make a change for UMSU International and how it still lacks in exposures, and we cannot provide that. The people are not yet aware of the services and support that they can access as an international student from us. And I hope that when elected president, UMSU International will be, the people of the committee member will be somewhat family to me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. That was, I think, an excellent note to end on. A suitably broad question, but and thank you, everyone, for your participation today. As I said, this recording, we will put a link to this up on the election webpage so people can get it. Now, in terms of that as well, we'll be sending out some information to all of you as candidates. Now, it's mostly candidates here at this point. We'll be sending you out some information just so we cover off all questions. But if you do have any questions about the process, feel free to reach out. Now, that can be any and all questions. Welcome them all. The other part being is we will be on campus for the first time in 2 years, and it's exciting to be able to actually see you all in person. So we will be there to assist. We'll be there. We'll be setting up the votes. The voting will obviously go from for the week, but we will be there from Tuesday through to Thursday, and we will be also around on the Monday and Friday, but not in as concentrated a presence. So you will see us for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be camped outside the UMSU International office to assist you in any way. And if you have any people who are having trouble voting, anyone who's having issues with any aspect of the process, send them on to us. The other part being is that we will be around on the Monday and Thursday to come and say hi and watch, what's going on with the campaign. Now, something I should mention is that you're just limited to 2 campaigners. So there are some quite strict rules there. If you're unclear about any of those rules, please let me know. It's much easier to ask questions beforehand. So thank you, everyone. It's always good to deal with such a talented group of candidates and ex-committee members. So thank you very much for your time today, and good luck to everyone in the election. And as I say, I'm always here to support you throughout the election process. So come to me with any questions you have or anything you may need. And I look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll stop the recording now, and then this will hopefully be up on the website either later tonight or tomorrow.
Yep. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.